The ESPYs are for sports what the Oscars have become for the film industry. A woke, virtue-signaling TV segment where progressive values are celebrated and rich celebrities get to show off and act full of themselves, which isn't a whole lot different than most days. The event was filled with wokeness from the opening to the end, but there are 3 moments in particular that stand out from the rest, so get your barf bag. For MRC-TV, I'm John Simmons and welcome to the woke world of sports. Our first moment comes from skier Eileen Gu, who was a globalist, plain and simple. She was born in the US, but skied for China in the latest edition of the Winter Olympics, despite not renouncing her US citizenship. In an interview at the Time 100 Summit in June, Gu unashamedly proclaimed that she was using sport to push globalism.
And I think that that's this beautiful example of globalism and of the capacity that we can use skiing and we can use sport and we can use winter sport to connect people. It's about Salt Lake specifically wants to become a global destination for athletes everywhere to come train there, and they want to incorporate 15 new countries into the Winter Olympics. And I think that's something that's really beautiful, and I've always stood for that, and so I'm really honored to be a part of the whole thing, and we'll see if it goes ahead.
So when she received her award, the ESPYs were making a statement that they were affirming her desires. Oh, and Gu also took time to say that equality in women's sports was something that needed to be continuously fought for, despite the fact that no one knows what that looks like or means because the definition of female among progressive athletes is constantly changing.
Also to the young girls who are going to come after me and who are going to be the change makers and who are going to push it one more step further closer to equality. So shout out to you guys. Maybe someone's watching right now. You never know. Yeah.
Hard to treat people as equal when the definition of who you're advocating for is constantly changing. Finally, later on in the event, 7 prominent female athletes, including everyone's favorite anti-American lesbian, Megan Rapinoe, called for women to be respected and treated equally in sports.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, beautiful, broad shoulders, sculpted by the burdens they carried while cracking glass ceilings for us.
Ceilings we continue to break so we can all dance amongst the shards.
We refuse to be happy with the minimum because more than it has been does not mean it's where it should be.
So we still fight for equal pay, for pregnancy protections, for resources.
We still fight for access, for inclusion.
We still fight for safety, to be believed, and we still fight to have control over our own bodies.
While all of that is a load of nonsense and a bunch of woke word salad, Rapinoe's words are the most confusing and laughably nonsensible.
To be honest, it's exhausting trying to convince the world of our ability. I mean, come on. Of our humanity. I mean, come on. Of our worth. I mean, really. Come on. You see it. We're not your charity. We're not your measuring stick for whatever version of masculinity. And we are certainly not the shield you use to deny college athletes equal pay or trans kids equal rights.
What does that even mean? No one doubts that women have incredible ability as athletes or that they are human and have great worth. Just because you may feel that's the case, that doesn't mean it's true. Also, if you're for women having equal rights in sports, then why are you in the same breath advocating for transgenders, often biological men that ruin women's sports when they are given that equality?
I mean, come on.
Pick a side and stick with it, Rapinoe. Or better yet, just don't say anything at all. So folks, what do you think? Was my analysis a home run or was it a big swing and a miss? Feel free to leave your comments and subscribe to our social media channels that aren't being censored into oblivion. And always remember, be on your A game and don't cave to the woke agenda in sports. For MRC TV, I'm John Simmons.